All right, good afternoon and welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Water and Power Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. This proceeding is being broadcast on Channel 35 and the exact broadcast times can be found by contacting Channel 35. Board of Water and Power Commissioners, please say present for roll call. Commissioner NURIT KATZ. Present. President Richard KATZ. Commissioner LEHRER.
Present.
Vice President MCGRAW.
Present.
Commissioner PINDER. 3 board members, a quorum is present. Mr. Vice President.
Good morning, good morning. I don't have any remarks prepared except to say that my name is Richard KATZ, and if anything goes wrong today, you can direct your complaints to commissionerkatz@ledwp.com. As long as it doesn't go to me, actually. It can go to either KATZ. I'm really happy to be here with you. The one thing I do want to point out is that Pride is coming, and that we always have a wonderful contingent of LEDWP folks at the LA Pride Parade, which is on June 8th at 11 a.m. And we'll have some more materials on that for you in the future, but for now, mark your calendars. I want to see you all out there on the float. Will we open general public comment, please?
Okay, public comment is open at this time. There are no public commenters present in the boardroom. However, we received a total of 4 e-comments, and the e-comments were distributed to every member of the dais. Public comment is closed at this time.
Beautiful. Thanks very much. Over to John Smith, sitting on the hot seat for Janice today for the CEO briefing.
Well, thank you, Mr. KATZ. I'm sorry, Commissioner MCGRAW. All right, well, today I'd like to start today's meeting off by wishing everyone a happy Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Month, short for AANHPI. We celebrate and recognize the impactful contributions the AANHPI members of our workforce and the communities we serve make each day. On April 30th, LEDWP's resource group, Aspire, which stands for AANHPI, supporting progress, inclusion, respect, and empowerment, hosted a special opening ceremony to celebrate the vibrant cultures, histories, contributions of the AANHPI community. The event featured cultural performances showcasing AANHPI traditions, as well as a keynote speaker from Aspire, and a chance to reflect and celebrate our diversity together. Thank you to our AANHPI community for all that you do. And with that, we have a report out from the water side. Jonathan Leung.
All sorts of guest stars today.
Yes. I'm not Anselmo Collins, Jonathan Leung filling in. Good afternoon, everyone. So in April, the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power was able to receive an award from the American Academy of Environmental Engineers and Scientists, and it was their grand prize for the Los Angeles Groundwater Replenishment Project. So this one is the one where we're taking wastewater from the Donald C. Tillman treatment plant, advanced treating it, and providing it for maximum beneficial uses, including potable reuse, either direct or indirect. So this is one of a few awards that we've received for the project, so I think it is a tribute to the thought leadership that's going on here in the city of LA and in the water system of planning resilient local water supplies. So we are very happy to take this award, and now the work begins. We're in construction. Construction will continue through the end of 2027, and we'll really celebrate again at that point in time when those water molecules are being delivered for those beneficial purposes. So thank you. Back to you, John.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Jonathan. And with that, Power System, Dave Hansen has an update on our Lineman's Rodeo, has a special recognition, as well as a recap of a visit that we made to Navajo.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. He mentioned water molecules, so now I feel compelled to talk about electrons, but I'll spare everyone. On April 25th, Janice, myself, and Zariah went to Arizona to meet with the Navajo Tribe Authority and thank them for their participation in our mutual aid efforts for the Palisades wildfire. We presented them with certificates and challenge coins, and we were only there for a couple of hours, but it was really nice to be able to come out there and thank them for coming and helping us out in our time of need. We've participated in mutual aid. You know, Mr. Walter Rodriguez has flown all over the world helping out people with line work. Us as LADVP, this is the first time we've ever received mutual aid, so we're very thankful to PG&E for coming and helping, as well as the Navajo tribe. So we've been able to develop a really good partnership with them over the last few years through our mutual aid training, and we're looking forward to getting that back on track.
Yeah, I spent a lot of my career on Navajo, and seeing those guys out here right away, a team, by the way, that works hot like ours, was a pretty incredible thing. And I think pretty incredible for them, too. I think, the folks I spoke to, Mr. Ray Kuntz and the others at NTUA, it was a really impressive training experience for them, too, so beneficial all around.
Yeah, it was really good. We were very thankful for that. So while I've got the microphone, I'm going to read a announcement here for Chloe Garrios. If you would join us at the, wherever you would like to be. Just standing. So Power System is proud to announce Chloe Garrios, Civil Engineer Associate 3 over the Interagency Conduit and Structure Design Group, has been recognized as the recipient of the 2025 Outstanding Civil Engineer in the Public Sector Award by the American Society of Civil Engineers, Region 9. This prestigious award honors individuals in the public sector who have made significant contributions to the field of civil engineering through professional achievements, ACE involvement, research, or innovative engineering solutions. This is very long. I hope you're not tired. Chloe's journey to this recognition began with the Metropolitan Los Angeles Branch Local Award, followed by the Los Angeles Section Award, and ultimately the ACE Region 9 State Level Award. Chloe has actively participated in various ACE events, including Engineers Week, International Women in Engineering Day, K-12 outreach events, ACE grad school panel speaker, and as a USC speaker for their yearly conference. In addition to her involvement with ACE, Chloe has worked on key LADWP projects such as the Beacon Battery Energy Storage System. They wrote BEST to see if I'd remember what that stood for. VIC LA upgrades, East San Fernando Valley, and the LADVP 3-mile overhead to underground conversion project. We're incredibly proud of Chloe's achievements and her dedication to advancing the field of civil engineering. Please join me in congratulating Chloe Garrios on this well-deserved recognition. Thank you. And finally, just as a reminder, we do have the Lyman's Rodeo this Saturday, so we're looking forward to seeing everyone out there. It is a family event. We have the petting zoo, the rock climbing wall, there's food, roasted corn, DJ. Local 18 comes out and prepares breakfast, and then we have a vendor that comes out and provides lunch. We have a lot of utilities that come from around the area to compete. A lot of esprit de corps and pride and bravado. So, right, Walter? That's right. Go Lyman. So it's also open to all DWP employees, so we encourage everybody to attend if they can. Thank you, John. That's all I got.
Thank you, Dave.
John?
Well, welcome. Last update will be provided by Joe Romalo. Update on a local high school in their Science Bowl finish, as well as the Women's and Career Expo.
Thank you, John. Good afternoon, Commissioners. I want to take a moment to congratulate North Hollywood High School. Once again, this seems to be an annual occurrence. This year, North Hollywood High finished third in the U.S. Department of Energy's National Science Bowl. That is among 65 teams from across the country that represent various regions from each state. For more than 30 years, as you know, the department has supported, actually initiated its own Science Bowl competition here regionally. We're very proud to support STEM education and outreach to our students in high schools and beyond here in Los Angeles. So very nice shout out and congrats to North Hollywood High School. Phenomenal students teams and an incredible accomplishment, finishing third nationally. Also on May 3rd, we hosted our third annual Women's Career and Wellness Expo in partnership with IBW Local 18. We welcomed more than 2,500 participants at the event. This included job seekers, staff, students, and families, and members of the local community at the Truesdale Training Center. We also had Commissioner KATZ on board and who helped welcome folks. There were actually 40 different career booths at this event, and I will tell you that everything looks so well put together and so simple when you're there, but there's so much work that goes into making it happen. And at the department, we're often, talk about silos and people working in silos. This event doesn't happen unless people break down those walls and work together, working with John's folks, working with water, working with power. And I just want to take a moment to recognize the folks that came together and pulled it together this year on what was relatively short notice, but it was a phenomenal event and a tremendous success. From our communications and community affairs team, led by Stephanie Spicer and Paula Adler, and this included our graphics team, AV and display shop, administration and photography, web, and the PR team that spearheaded logistics and programming, many of whom are here today. Our recruitment team led by Jennifer Shar and Artie Rezamand, Power Systems Truesdale staff led by Jacob Charbonneau, employee health benefits, particularly Katrina Ramos, Fleet Services, who brought out all the vehicles that day, including the helicopters and trucks, Sergey Singh, Mike Darby, Ray Mata, and Sean Estevez, thank you, as well as Rep Graphics and our print shop for the signage and handouts, as well as Security Services and the Speakers Bureau. All of their work really contributed to a successful event, and we're looking forward to continuing next year and expanding it with even additional targets for attendance. Just want to take a moment to thank everyone for your hard work, and if you could stand if you were part of it, we'd really appreciate and recognize your work. We have a short video that we'd like to show you highlighting that day.
It's an honor to welcome you to the third annual LADWP's Women's Career and Wellness Expo. It's not just a career fair, it's a celebration, a movement, and a mission to empower women to step into careers that fuel our city and power the future.
Good morning. Welcome, everybody. I'm super excited to be here. This is my first year at this event. And I cannot be happier of what I'm seeing today. So happy to see so many women and little girls coming and being interested in what we do here at the department.
My staff and I, we're glad to be a part of this organization, and over the last few years, these types of events have been opening up and letting the community know what's available to them. These are life-changing jobs. They offer benefits, living wages, and great working conditions.
It's really encouraging to see these opportunities continue to expand and see events like this to make sure that all women know that these careers are for you and not just for the boys.
And events like this help other women know of the opportunities we have. As a mother, it was important for me to raise my family, and having a lactation program and flexible hours and a family that supported my career at home as a mom and my career here in the department has been an amazing journey. And I think that's why it's important for these opportunities to be here.
I think these events are important because it really showcase what the different groups of the department do. And you have people from the public, you have other employees within the department, you have students that come out and just really learn what we do at the department.
In the kids zone where you can make pipes and see where the water flows.
I'd love to add my gratitude to Joe's thank yous to the whole team who worked on this. This was really an amazing event, really inspiring. Thank you to all the women and the men of DWP who came out to really showcase these opportunities. Every table that I visited was so creative, all of the kind of science projects that were put together for the kids, and I just saw so many young people's faces light up and recognize that these are opportunities that they can pursue and careers that are open to them. So it really was a fantastic, fantastic event. Really appreciated all of the different demos and everything. And for me, I had a moment that was really special because I visited the Eastern Sierra booth and someone looked really familiar, and it turned out my intern from 15 years ago when she was a student at UCLA is working for the department, Kelsey Hammond, and I hadn't seen her in over a decade. So that was just such a special moment to see someone who I knew as a student, grow throughout this whole career and have this amazing career now at DWP. And I know that there were many more stories like that started at that fair with someone learning about a really cool opportunity and getting inspired to study, whether it's engineering or environmental science. I think a lot of lives were changed that day. So really amazing event. And then just want to echo congratulations for North Hollywood High School, because that's my alma mater. I grew up here in the Valley, and I love seeing them do well. It was really cool to see them compete in regionals and to hear about the national success. Being third in the whole nation is really amazing. So congrats to the North Hollywood team as well. Thanks.
Thank you, NURIT. Thank you for representing there. Appreciate that. And this will roll very nicely into the Lineman's Rodeo on Saturday.
Yeah,
also
can't
at
wait.
Truesdale Yard. And if you haven't been to one before, it's worth whatever time you can spend there. As NURIT said, I mean, the amazing exhibits, amazing explanations of what the women and men of DWP do. And it's just a great way to spend a couple hours. And if you've got kids, bring them. If you don't have kids, find some. Legally, find some. And bring them there to show them what's possible.
Some of us have
grandchildren especially.
Grandkids too.
That's good.
With their grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Of course.
No, but seriously, I mean, it's a great way to see. People are always amazed, and even, given my experience with the department over the years, et cetera, the first time I went to the Lineman's Rodeo, there were so many exhibits and so many things being shown there that go into making this all happen and to making this, to making the system work that you don't think about or don't have visibility on unless you see it broken down by component parts or people doing extraordinary things, hanging from wire, and it's pretty amazing. Particularly the helicopter coming in with the linemen and dropping them on top of the pole. Not dropping them, but gently putting them on top of the pole. So it's definitely, if you got time to do it or have friends or relatives, we'd love to see them. So with that, so I expect to see you all on Saturday. What time does it start on Saturday, Dave?
7?
7 or 8?
Yeah, I believe it's 8 o'clock. Is it 7? Okay, 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Thank you for correcting me, Walter. Brian, where were you on that?
All right. George, thank you for getting us started. I'm sorry?
Did you have anything else?
That's the end of our report.
Okay.
No. In lieu of Janice, this one's coming to you, John. We're getting close to our Workday implementation date. Do you know what the date for go live is on Workday?
June 16th.
June 16th. Okay. So we're about a month out. We have another board meeting between now and then. We'd really love a presentation on Workday implementation and how that's going, what the challenges have been, what we've done to resolve them, and especially if there are any outstanding challenges before go live. I think we as a board really just want to keep our eye on that ball, knowing the traditional trouble we've had implementing new software systems at the agency. I do have a couple questions that I might ask in advance today. If there aren't answers for them, we can discuss it at the next board meeting. But I am curious what our biggest challenges have been pre-implementation and what our
what our communication with labor partners has been like, because I think, being in lockstep with them on this process is especially important. And, I've heard from several people in the department who have come to my office, some people external to the department that have come to me, worried that not all the T's are going to be crossed and I's are going to be dotted before this thing goes live, especially around paychecks. And so I'm wondering if we have a sense of how close we are to full implementation with a lot of security for that go-live date, and if not, what we're missing.
Did you want those answers today? Or,
if we have answers to some of those things today, great.
Yeah, I think we have some of our team members. They have our Chief Information Officer and Chief People Officer.
Great.
They can come up and...
Start with the question about payroll first.
Payroll, right? Yeah, it's always important.
Not that it doesn't bother any of us because we don't get paid, but
I can
but
take
for everybody
that
else
one.
in the department,
So on the payroll side, we've done 5 payroll parallel testings between our current payroll system and Workday, and 99% accuracy on that. We do notice that on some of the items, the taxes are different, and that's because Workday has all the up-to-date tax items embedded in it. So there's some things that we're going to get more accuracy on. Some of the things like domestic partner or other things where people don't see it taxed paycheck to paycheck, that will be done correctly, where right now we do it because our current system can't handle it. We do it at the end of the year. So we are going through all of those and identifying what those changes are. And, on the payroll side, if we can get the person 80 hours in the system, the right number of hours on the right DDR, we believe the paycheck will calculate correctly.
Except for 110 people, because that's 1% of 11,000.
I was looking at the dollars, but I
Okay,
could look at the people as well.
The dollars is good. My concern is, obviously not getting paid. The bigger concern, though, is getting overpaid accidentally and then the person having to pay back. I think that part is really hard. And I know there are lots of parts of the system that we manually reconcile right now with several different forms. And, whether or not those processes are all really in line for Workday so that no one's lagging. Like, they may get their core paycheck on time, but are there any concerns about lagging payments for things like overtime, special pay, that sort of stuff?
We'll have to make sure that is put in place, but right now we have those same issues. So we have time roll corrections in our current payroll system.
Yep.
We'll have a different process with the new system, but will be something we have to track and make sure everybody has visibility on.
Yeah, it's just something, do we have a plan for how that will be tracked before the go live date, or is it we're going to go live and we're going to figure it out after we see what the holes are?
Right now, our plan is to ensure everybody who's expected to have 80 hours will have that 80 hours paid.
Of course.
I won't know unless somebody worked overtime and it wasn't captured in the system until after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
But our goal is to get everybody paid accurately, consistently, the way we do now. So I think our challenge right now is people are really looking at their daily work and trying to figure out exactly how they do it.
Yeah.
So I think between now and the next board meeting, we're going to be hammering at all the questions that we've been receiving. How do I do this? How do I do that? And so making sure that those really succinct processes are put in place. Our organizational change management team has done a great job documenting it. It's just that everybody doesn't have, an hour to read 15 or pages or whatever. They want to know. I click enter my DWP ID, click Workday, go live, and then you go in, you look at yourself, you populate your time, and you have to review it. This is a step that people don't have to do now. They have to say, yeah, this is my correct time, I submit it. And then it automatically routes to the supervisor for approval. So the systems has some great things like request for overtime, request for time off is all electronically done. So we capture that, we reduce our paper. But it is a big change, and we have to make sure as people ask questions about how do I do this on day one, we have really clear step-by-step clicks to help them get through that.
In that presentation at the next board meeting, it would be really great to understand what kind of recourse employees will have to that what the help desk is going to look like for rollout.
Yeah. We will have a help desk. We have office hours right now. So I believe we have some questions have been receiving this week. So if people don't come to office hours, I think I'm going to ask the office hours team to say, here's the questions we're getting. Give me the simplest way to show this person how to do that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And can you, hello.
Hi.
Thanks for coming to the dais.
Of course.
Can you also explain to us what the relationship with our labor partners has been like, what the level of satisfaction is there, what we're doing to make sure to answer any sort of questions or concerns they have before go live? Is there a punch list we're working down, that sort of thing?
Yes, so we do have, the team has monthly meetings with IBW in which the main topics are being discussed. For example, all the testers that we have that are testing the solutions, they are all approved, they are nominated and approved by our labor union partners. We lately have a couple of meetings in which there were some items were escalated, and what we needed was details exactly, for example, there's a concern about training. Now, we have delivered training for 2 months, and we made available a practice tenant, a practice environment, let's say, not to talk technically, of work days, so everybody can go and practice. We just want to know exactly.
Like a sandbox you can play in.
Yes,
okay.
A sandbox, thank you. Sandbox, that's the word. It's still available, it's open for anybody to go and practice. We just want to know exactly which items we need to reinforce training on. So is it time entry? Is time approval? We know that there is some confusion about as-dos. So do we need to reinforce training as-dos? So we're trying to drill down into that level of detail so we can provide the right training opportunities for everybody. As Anne mentioned, we have office hours. These are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So it's a nice chunk of time, the 3 days where everybody comes. And anybody can go and ask any questions as well. So we are trying to do our best to provide all the information, but we need a little bit more level of details to be more effective in the type of training that we provide. This solution has been around for 4 years. The systems that we use currently are about to be deprecated. So the owners of the system are saying, I'm not providing any more maintenance because they are too old.
Yep.
So at some point, we need to be very effective in answering these questions because we are running out of time in order to don't lose, the data that we have and the processes that we have currently to run business effectively.
Heard.
I guess what I would add is when I arrived back in August of 2024 and got on the project, I've been on a couple of Workday projects in my former career, and what was clear is the change management. The project had been around for 4.5 years. There were all kinds of challenges. There was, and mainly between the variation of processes between each division. And so as an integrated system, it kind of forced the hand to say, what will the go-forward process be? And I would suggest today we still have those questions in the sense that we now understand what the process will be. However, the process that you know, as the saying goes, is the one that you're most comfortable with. So these are the conversations that we still continue to have with people. It's the change management piece to say, not only do you know how to do this, you will do it well and be confident that you will do it well. We still benchmark against our city compadres who went with Workday earlier to us, and they cannot believe how far along we are compared to where they are when they went live. That was the feedback we got just last week. So in many ways, we won't know
Doesn't make me feel
all.
good.
Say it again? A question for me?
That argument doesn't make us feel great, but
Well,
but it is an important one.
I mean, it's where people get a lot of their data and the comparisons that they make.
Right.
To Anne's point, that some of the testing that they've gone, usually you do 3 parallel testings, we've done 5. I don't know how many other check the boxes we could do to be the best prepared that we can be. So I'm very, very confident that ultimately it goes in people actually getting into the system and doing the work in the system.
Yeah.
Is it a kind of system that you can phase in, or do you go out, you push a button and everybody's on or everybody's off? I mean,
well, it's integrated end to end. We're doing HR, payroll at this moment, and financial tech will come in 2026.
Right.
Usually, organizations that I've been in do much broader, larger span of integration than we have done.
so on June 1st, what happens?
June 16.
June 16.
What happened is
So
that
nothing happens on June 1st.
we
So it's
practice
already
all
late.
day in the workday tenant, in the sandbox. That's what we do on June 1st. So June 16, what's going to happen is that when you have to enter your time, how many hours you work today, you just, instead of going to WorkTech, which is the current tool, you go to Workday and you open there, and that's when you need the training of, or a job aid to say, okay, I forgot how to do this, click here, and you put 8 hours of the number of hours that you had, or if you had an ASDU, or whatever the situation is. And then your manager should go ahead and approve that time. That's essentially what's going to happen. Now, what's going to happen also is that the two processes that we have, the human resources time approval process and the payroll process, will be reconciliated finally. So the fact that I'm putting 8 hours and my manager is approving 8 hours means that I'm going to effectively being paid for 8 hours. So the system will be, the systems will be connected. Not like right now we have two separate systems, and that causes a lot of lack of consistency sometimes. There's errors, inaccuracies, errors, and all kind of other issues that Ann's team can talk for long hours. They have to work on those issues right now.
And I think the next couple of weeks, we really need to get into the weeds with people on how they do some of their nuanced work so that they feel comfortable, like Tracy said, doing it better in the new tool. So we have some questions that we've been receiving, and we'll be working on those and come back in 2 weeks.
Great.
And to your question, every question we've received, we're tracking with the owner and a response to make sure that nothing gets dropped.
Appreciate that.
And I imagine looking across the scope of questions and seeing if the same question is being asked multiple times. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our people here are the most important part of the institution. And this is going to affect them all very deeply and their families, where people are most affected, which is in their pocketbook. So I really want to make sure that this goes really smoothly. And then if we're not ready for whatever reason, be it a piece of software or a lack of training, that we're not pushing to go live before we're ready. So if we could have that conversation at the next board meeting in a little more depth, I think we'd all appreciate it.
We do.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Anything about Workday? All right, John, thank you. You got anything else for us?
I think that's the end of the report, but we'll make sure we're ready next board meeting with the presentation.
Awesome. Thank you, John.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, and good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. I believe we're at F.
Yes.
One technical problem, we don't have a ratepayer advocate
Correct.
yet. But we understand that that's moving forward. It's in the city council hands right now. And so hopefully they are taking care of that quickly. So we would very much like to have a ratepayer advocate on board as fast as possible. So we're working towards that. So we'll just sort of think of Dr. Pickle while we keep moving forward here. Yeah. I'm not going to channel him, no, but I'm not smart enough to, so.
I will not play the part of Dr. Pickle, but I will mention that for one of these agenda items, the one on fiber optics, number N11, we had pulled that item previously because Dr. Pickle had requested us to do an analysis of our fiber optic inventory and to understand our contracting processes.
Right.
Janice prepared that report for us and circulated it to the board, and Dr. Pickle did give his sign-off that his questions were answered and he was confident that we're moving in the right direction, which is why we added it back to the agenda for this meeting.
Great. Thank you for the information. So, okay, moving along, we have, for the block vote, what items do we have, Shante?
N1 through N15.
Move to pass N1 through N15.
You didn't want to pull any of them off?
No.
Nothing pulled today.
Unusual, huh?
I know. Second.
Okay. Everybody okay with that? We'll take items 1 through 15. We have a motion and a second, and without objection, all board members present as aye votes. Those items are approved. Management reports. Anybody?
Item H1, please. Those here present for the final budget, please come forward.
Oh, yeah, that little thing. That time of year all over the place, budgets.
All right. Let's see. Oh. Thank you. Thank you and good afternoon, Board President and Commissioners. Mary Ann Ann's here to co-present the 25-26 final budget, and I will just focus on the changes since the preliminary budget. So here, the combined water and power net appropriations final proposed budget is $9,358 million. And as you can see in the pie chart, 50% or $4,667 million is for power revenue funds, capital expenditures, and operation and maintenance. 20% represents the water funds, capital and O&M in the amount of $1,927 million. 18% or $1,672 million is for the fuel and purchase power, and that is expected to support 50% renewable energy during 25-26, and this is based on Power Systems' near-term projections. We have 9% for bond redemption and interest, and this is net of contributions and aid of construction revenues, miscellaneous revenues, and other expenses such as depreciation and property taxes. And lastly, we have 3% of the total earmarked for purchased water, $246 million. And overall, this budget final proposal is 0.7% or $67 million higher than the preliminary budget that was presented to you back in March. And some of the key changes to go through real briefly between the prelim and final proposals are the bond redemption and interest expenditures that increased by 1.4% or $19 million, and this is due to increase in proposed borrowing for next year. We have contributions in aid of construction revenues that decreased by 24% or $55 million, and that's largely due to the deferment of grant receipts. This is related to changes in expected timing of receipts as well as the uncertainties around federal grant funding. Miscellaneous revenues decreased by 2% or $6 million, and that's largely due to re-estimated recognized revenues. And all other changes shown here are less than 1%, and these are due to refinements in various projects, schedules, and estimates. And lastly, I just want to mention that we did obtain the latest UCLA, January 2025 UCLA quarterly forecast to review the Consumer Price Index inflation rates, and we did revise the budgeted escalation rate, and that resulted in a minimal increase of 0.3% or $10 million in non-labor costs for 25-26. Here we have on this slide a new California Government Code section 3502.3. This was recently added, which essentially requires the department to present vacancies at least once a year and before the final budget is adopted. The city has complied with this requirement, and they provided this tabular format, which we've reflected and followed here. So as you can see on the table, the department's average vacancy rate across the various bargaining units is 14.36%, and this is based on the current year's 24-25 approved APR. The proposed total final compensation budget is $3,145.3 million, which is a 1% or $24 million increase compared to the preliminary budget.
The vacancy rate that you showed on the previous slide, is that consistent with where we've been in the past?
fairly consistent, and it can vary, but fairly consistent, of course, as we add more positions, and depending on the speed in which we hire, the vacancy rate obviously can fluctuate. But this is a first-time requirement for the department in terms of presenting it, and as we understand, it's supposed to go before the final budget is adopted. However, in light of when we were informed of this requirement, we're presenting it here to you together.
I understand that. I'm just curious, without getting into a discussion about the personnel department, because that could take all day. We'll just keep moving on here and try and resolve this, but I appreciate that.
Okay. So in terms of the proposed APR of 14,801, this remains the same as the preliminary total department level that we presented back in March. However, this final APR now reflects movement of the meter services and field operations division. 575 positions are moved from the joint to the power system and are reflected here. Overtime increased by 2%, or $7 million, mainly driven by facility services and power division's alignment of their proposed estimates with the historical actual expenditure trend. And lastly, the benefits here shown increased by 2%, or $14 million, and that was mainly due to the updated healthcare cost projections. So the department continues to provide clean, reliable, cost-effective water and power as we focus our strategic investments on sustainable water and power supplies. We continue to maintain our water quality and our power reliability, all while minimizing rate impacts to our customers. And with that, I will now turn it over to Ann Santilli to talk about some of the key operational goals and rate impacts.
So from this slide, you can see the Power Fund capital and O&M budget for our strategic initiatives is $4,667 million. This spending is broken into 5 categories to help the department meet its strategic goals. Power reliability spending, which supports mostly our transmission and distribution assets, is $1,915 million. Renewable portfolio spending is $562 million, which supports generation and transmission that brings in renewable energy. Infrastructure spending of $900 million. Energy efficiency spending of $163 million. And operating support, which is power systems share of customer service, information technology, and facilities, basically joint organization costs of $1,126 million. So we'll look a little bit into the power system reliability. So if we go to the next, thank you, Marianne. Power System Reliability Program proposes spending is 41% of Power Systems capital and O&M budget, and aims to to replace key assets in an effort to maintain reliability of service. LADWP has about 320,000 poles that require inspection, maintenance, and replacement. Our goal for next year is to replace 4,000 poles and 13,900 cross arms. A power system maintains more than 126,000 distribution transformers. Replacing or upgrading existing transformers to account for increasing load is required, and our goal is to replace 1,340 transformers next year. We also have SAIDI, which is the average duration of sustained interruption in minutes experienced by a customer, and SAFEDI, the number of times they have an interruption. So our goals for next year is 115 minutes or less for the SAIDI and less than 1 for SAFEDI.
Sorry, Ann, do you have a year-over-year comparison of what that looks like for this calendar year?
Actually, our current one is 111 minutes with a 0.66 interruption. So it's it gives us a little bit more latitude to meet our goal, but we're actually doing better.
And our goal for this year was?
Our goal for this year, I know I have the current. I don't know. I have to get the goal.
Our current's great. I just wondered if this goal is an improvement upon last year's goal, since we so clearly beat last year's goal.
I can find out.
Thank you.
Sure.
Safety and safety are really important.
That's right. So we'll go to power systems, energy transition. Power supply sustainability has 3 parts: renewable energy, infrastructure, and energy efficiency. The renewable energy portfolio portion, LADWP is investing in wind, solar and storage, and geothermal projects to further its renewable portfolio. But this includes transmission. So for this upcoming fiscal year, the department continues to invest in the McCullough-Victorville transmission line project, which has been underway and is expected to add 475 megawatts of renewable energy sources. But then infrastructure and customer benefit programs, LADWP continues to invest in its assets for reliability and resiliency, including generation facilities, upgrades, and maintenance. Projects such as the Haynes Unit 8 conversion from ocean water cooling to recycled water is going forward, and this will help us to maintain dispatchable generation capacity near our load center. We also have various customer incentive-based programs and incentives. DWP has been investing in energy efficiency since 2010. And then we'll move to the water side. So water capital O&M expenditures for the proposed final budget that support water system strategic initiatives is $1,927 million, and this spending is broken into 5 parts. Infrastructure spending, which supports distribution mains, trunk lines, and other assets, is $742 million. Water quality spending of $417 million supports water reuse, water treatment, and some distribution. Water supply of $343 million, which supports stormwater capture, water conservation spending, and LA aqueduct additions and betterments. Owens Valley regulatory, which includes Owens Lake operations and maintenance of $76 million. And operating support, which is water's share of customer service, information technology, and facilities of $349 million. So if we look into the water supply and sustainability spending, for fiscal year 25-26, for mainline projects, water system has a goal of 240,000 feet of mainline replacement, 13,230 feet of trunk line replacement, and also included in this category is 2 programs: the stormwater capture program, the stormwater capture parks program. This will capture up to 1,800 acre-feet of stormwater and urban runoff per year. And then we also have the North Haywee Dam project, which is moving forward, and its anticipated completion is in 2028. This is an interesting slide here because it shows over the last 4 years the water that's been delivered. So for the last 4 years, LA Aqueduct was 41%, MWD was 50%, and local groundwater, recycled water was 9%. But for next year, based on forecasted supply, LA Aqueduct will be 43%, MWD will be 35%, but local groundwater is expected to go up to 22%. And then looking at water quality spending, 2 of the programs that are called out for water quality is the Fairmont Sedimentation Project, which is moving forward, and this is going to be completed in 2031, but this project will improve raw water quality through a reduction of sediment in the water delivered to the LA Aqueduct, and it will also provide pre-treatment to approximately 465,000 million gallons per day. And then we have the groundwater replenishment project, also DCT, which Jonathan talked about earlier. So this project is moving forward, and its anticipated completion is in 2027. And as part of the joint system spending, there's a lot of IT projects that are moving forward that highlight some of our spending. Workday, our ERP project of $78 million. CCB, we're migrating that to the cloud for $44 million. Our ArcGIS system of $12.3 million, and cybersecurity estimated spending of $39 million.
And on the groundwater that we were talking about a couple minutes ago?
Yeah.
On the, or the runoff rather, what percent of stormwater are we capturing these days?
Jonathan, can you help me out here?
You know, I'm not going to attempt to give an answer off the top of my head, but
we do it all the time. So feel free. But please, no, I get it, John.
So
I understand, John.
maybe we can get Anselmo to give you a more proper answer, but I do think we've made great improvements working in collaboration with the county, right? We've had a couple major infrastructure upgrades, so those rainfalls these past 2 years, we've been able to substantially capture a lot more water than in that runoff than in the previous years. So.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'd like to get, for the board's benefit, for mine and the board's, you know, where we are in terms of what's out there and what, I know we're capturing a lot. I know we're doing a lot of investment in capture and storage. You know, how much more can we get out of it, I guess, is the question.
Okay.
The nice thing about it, I mean, storage isn't free, but stormwater is in a way. And I'd much rather it was going into the ground than through houses and all sorts of other stuff. I know everybody would. And I know the department's been working on it. So I'm also curious how much of this capture is where it's, I mean, a lot of this is in the San Fernando Valley these days, which we're very happy to take. But, you know, just looking at the water system, how much can we do? And I know it's also a discussion in terms of One Water. You know, can we make two complete systems, you know, north and south of Mulholland? And can it be more effective and cheaper, or does it not make any sense? So,
right. And to your point, any groundwater storage capability aquifers that we have are so vital. Just by natural design, the San Fernando Basin, the east side of the San Fernando Valley, has the best storage aquifer. It's very deep, sandy soil, so the percolation occurs very well there. Our long-term, and there is going to be a 2025 urban water management plan, which will talk a little bit more detail about groundwater, you know, recharge and storage, stormwater capture. I don't want to get too far ahead of that, but, you know, as of right now, our adjudicated rights are about 87,000 acre feet per year in the San Fernando Basin. But with some of the stormwater capture projects and other Pure Water LA DCT, we're going to ultimately try to target closer to 125, 130,000 acre feet. So we are going to increase there.
Great.
The central basins, we're going to do some additional characterizations to figure out exactly how much we could store in that area. But you're talking in an order of magnitude of anywhere from 20,000 acre feet to up to 40,000 acre feet that you can use down in the central basin.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, obviously, as you said, most of the opportunities in the valley.
Yeah, and for context, our current annual demand is about 450,000 acre feet. So when we talked about groundwater being able to provide that recharge, that kind of gives you a context, 120, 130,000 acre feet versus total demand of 450,000, and same for the central basin.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, Jonathan, but I appreciate the answer.
That's my pleasure.
Yeah, and maybe for the next board meeting, we can talk a little more about it, but I appreciate that.
We'll note that.
Yeah. This slide here shows that on the power side, rates remain competitive. This is compared to similarly situated utilities. At the prelim budget, Dr. Pickle asked us to look at the rate impact. So our system average rate was going to be 27. As Marianne mentioned, we increased our borrowing, so we're getting that down to 26.3 cents based on our budget. And I shared that with Dr. Pickle before he retired. So we're going to move forward with that plan. And then on the water side, based on our current spending and proposed budget, we believe our residential water bill on average is in line with similarly situated utilities. Our customers do embrace conservation, and 50% of our residential customers use on average less than 8 billing units per month. We do believe that our maintaining financial metrics to doing our long-term planning and proactively managing costs helps us keep our budget and our rates low.
By the way, and I appreciate it on that last chart that you had what the other systems are charging, because I think we need to do more of that so people understand how our bills compare to, you know, there's nothing, you know, you say other similar properties, there's nothing quite like LA or DWP, but having said that, when it's a good thing, but to just give people an idea, you know, the numbers by themselves don't tell the story, but we need to talk about it, because our rates, frankly, on most of our utilities are much better than outside of LA County. So We need to keep saying that and putting it out there for people to understand. And, and George had asked you earlier when you were talking about safety a couple items ago.
What was our goal for last year? Yes.
Right. I also would like to see how we compare to utilities both in California and nationally on the safety side as well, please.
Okay.
I mean, I think I speak for the board when I say, everybody has said it before, safety is paramount, obviously. And the women and men who work here do a hell of a job. And I'd like them to get acknowledged for how safe it is. I know when I visited IPP, they were 2,000 people out there working. Some 40% were women, and the safety record was spotless at that point. And I hope it still is. But they're doing a phenomenal job. So I think that's worth mentioning as we talk about all this.
I'll get some details on our safety record, also prior year goals on SAIDI and safety, and then follow up on the amount of stormwater capture we're doing right now.
Okay, that'd be great. I appreciate it. Let me ask, Dave, how's Adam doing? Do we know?
Just saw his sister again this morning downstairs. He's doing well, just acclimating to being at home and doing as well as he can be expected.
He's getting used to being weighted on hand and foot?
Yeah, something like that. We have asked the employees from power transmission and distribution and power and construction and maintenance that were involved in the life-saving. Right. We are going to be recognizing them at Town Hall on Thursday.
Great. No, fantastic, because from everything we were told at the hospital and everyone else, if it weren't for them, this would be a whole different kind of process we're going through right now.
That's right. That seems to be pretty clear.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that.
Thanks.
Thank you. I think it's very cool that, Genese's Town Hall is next week, I think. That's where we're going to acknowledge the crews.
It's this Thursday.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Oh, the 15th, right. Yeah.
I believe so. Do I have that right? Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Thank you.
That concludes our presentation. Thank you for approving the budgets. We'll forward those to the city before May 31st to be in compliance with city charter.
Okay. Was that in the end numbers that we approved?
Yes.
Because we didn't do it separately, so I just want to make sure, because we don't want to be late.
No.
So, thank you for that.
And a shout out to all the budget coordinators in the budget office. Sure. It's a lot of work to put all this data together. Yes. Great job. Thank you so much.
I think we all echo what Ann said. It's not easy work. It's not fun work. It's tedious and it's critical. So thank you all for everybody put. Only you know how many hours into making this work. So thank you with that. Okay. So, any management reports, anything?
H2.
Two more. Oh, I'm sorry, here we are. Who's up? Welcome.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to update you on the department's enterprise-wide lessons learned in summer heat preparedness going into this summer. We're going to do this a little bit different this year. We're going to present to you our enterprise-wide summer preparedness rather than it being centric on one of the three systems like we've done it in the past. But before we begin, I'd like to introduce today's presenters. Walter Rodriguez, Director of Power Transmission and Distribution. Marciano Navarre, who's behind me, Director of Power Construction and Maintenance. Breonna Lindsay, Director of Water Distribution, and Mona Friels, Executive Director of Emergency Management. We've made material advancements on the lessons learned from last summer's heat response, particularly during the wildfire response. We really did, not only did we operationalize the lessons learned from last summer, but we stress tested them during the wildfires. And we continue to make, significant improvements as we learn more with the daily emergency responses that we respond to. I would like to highlight a few notable updates since last summer's heat response, and that is having a centralized emergency response to the department's emergency.
Advance the slides.
Oh, can we advance the slides?
I think we can hear.
We hear?
We do. Okay.
Having a centralized emergency response through our department emergency operations center has significantly improved our common operating picture across all three systems, increasing and aligning data-driven decision-making and communications across our operations, the department, and more importantly to our customers. Also, as we continue to advance our operational technologies, we'll continue to increase our real-time situational awareness and decision-making, which will also enable increased communication of real-time data to our customers as well. And finally, we recognize that we continue to have quite a bit of room to grow. And we remain laser focused in our commitment to continuous improvement, especially during our emergency responses. So with all that said, I'd like to invite Walter and Marciano to speak on the power systems summer preparations, followed by Briona, and then we will close things out with Mona.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. So I'll jump right in. So our number one priority here, as you know, is the safety of our employees, right? So we run them through our heat illness and prevention program first thing prior to going into the summer months. So any latest regulations pertaining to that, and we want to ensure that each of our employees understands the responsibilities that they have to ensure that this is set out through the day. We ensure that they also talk about this in their briefings in the morning, their tailgates, and throughout the day. And they're able to recognize heat illness coming on to any of the employees. These same employees are also versed on red flag day protocols. This is all part of our high fire threat mitigation plan. So the suspension of all non-essential work in these high fire threat zones, Tier 2 and Tier 3 are suspended. The only work that is allowed in these areas will be work essential for public safety or for that directly related to restoring power. Now to the distribution system itself. District crews are directed to focus on repairing abnormal and worst performing circuits, which include system modification, system growth, trouble, and inspection maintenance type work. Also, which is included in this, is we normally get a list from the city or from the county of facilities that are designated as cooling centers. So we tie these to circuits, and we ensure that those circuits are inspected as well, and that they are a priority during any heat event.
In the county as well as the city?
County as well, yes. We get them from the mayor's office normally, but we can also go to the county website. Normally, the county facilities are not serviced by our territory.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah. So, but they are on the county website.
Does the county pay for that?
If there's any in the county, normally it's by Edison, so we won't facilitate those, but they group ours with theirs as well.
Okay, got it.
Power quality is also an issue. Last year, as you are aware, during September, we endured a heat event that came through the southern region, and it was detrimental on our system. We had 5 consecutive days of 100-degree temperature and 7 consecutive days of 90-degree temperatures. Most of our outages, 83% of those, were directly related to the heat event. The two that were outstanding the most were 19% of them were caused by transformer failures. 12% were due to blown fuses and overloaded circuits.
Go back for a second on the 19% of the transformer failures. Is this older equipment? Is this?
Yeah, it's on the next slide here.
Okay.
So 84% of the failed transformers were in our system, identified as being in our system for over 40 years. So, and the big thing that comes into play with heat events like this is normally there's not cooling period during the nighttime hours.
Right.
So that plays havoc on our.
Because people don't turn it off.
Right.
Because it's a 24-hour.
Correct. Yeah, the heat doesn't go below 70, high 70s, or in some cases 90s.
And the equipment can't recover. In addition to people not recovering, but the equipment can't recover.
Correct. Not only our equipment, in some cases it's either our cables or our lines as well. They get fatigued, and then a weak spot in our system will fail.
Is that, again, the fact that some of the transformers, you said, have been in the system for 40 years.
Correct.
Are we replacing those transformers? Are we proactively going out and getting rid of the 40?
Yes, and that's all part of the power quality. If anything's been identified or any piece of equipment's been identified as being a power quality issue, overloaded, and normally if you could pay attention to this pie chart here, you'll see that the majority of those were 25 kVA, which are one of the smallest transformers we have in our system. So more than likely they were overloaded at the time. So we had a campaign years back where we went and tried to replace all those, and we're revisiting that as the summer months come through.
How much of them, what percent of them are replaced?
It's hard. I don't have that data, but they're pretty close to the majority of them being out, but there's still a lot of them out there.
There's still too many of them out there. Whatever the number is, it's too many.
Yeah, our system is vast, so there's a lot that we're just not aware of, right, until we get into these loading periods and then they rear their ugly head.
And on the other graph with the ages, I assume that the smaller number of failures in those oldest categories are just because we have less of those, not because they fail less often, right?
It's a combination of both, I would say. You know, in the larger transformers, right? There's and you're referring to
in the age groups. So I see there's like a lot of them that are failing that are 50 to 59 years old, and less that are older than that. I'm assuming the older than that, we just don't have that many of them left out there. It's not that they are sturdier or better. Or,
correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Thanks.
If you could, just not today, obviously, but I'd be curious to know how many of those we still have.
We could compile that
Going
data.
to NURIT's question
yes.
also, to see
Absolutely.
where we are on the replacement program for them.
Absolutely, we can compile it.
We're not buying them all from China anymore. I would
We
assume.
are not.
Yeah.
Actually, the older transformers that we used to buy from Howard Industries, those over the years have proven to be some of the best that we have in our system.
Are they still in business?
Some of them in the underground are.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
How about, I meant Howard, are they in business?
No, Howard is not.
No, that's too bad.
No, Howard is not. No. So maintenance windows during the summer months are limited on our 34.5 and 4.8 kV systems, and that's obviously due to loading. So we also curtail any planned outages to any of our system during heat events, and if they're necessary, we'll ensure that they're done either during off hours or when the cooling period is upon us. Our district and electric trouble crews, during any heat event, they prioritize the work. Of course, public safety is the priority in any event, and that of our employees. We do, in the summer months, we experience different types of outages. There's a lot of little outages, small neighborhoods and single customers. So we try to get to the oldest ones first and keep track of those as we're progressing through any heat event. We do have round-the-clock staffing to respond to trouble work, whether it be through our electric trouble section or our district crews. Vegetation management as well, they ramp up their maintenance around poles, transformers, and right-of-ways. And we try to get as much clearance, brush clearance and vegetation clearance around our conductors, transmission towers, and poles that we can possibly get.
I remember from last year some confusion out in some of the neighborhood groups or the homeowner associations between fire breaks and the clearance we do.
Correct.
Because those are two different operations, I understand. And fire breaks are done, I'm not sure who does fire breaks, but it ain't us.
Correct, and that's normally through the city or the fire department, right? They require a certain fire break on any property. We require them around our facilities, whether it be a pole or a transmission tower.
And we do that ourselves.
We do that ourselves. We'll do at least a 10-foot parameter around any of our facilities. And then as far as vegetation, that can be anywhere from 6 and as much as we can, depending on growth rates.
I think that people will be especially sensitive to that this year, you would hope, after.
Absolutely, and we have been discussing that with our vegetation management group. So they always do, they ramp this up by doing mid-cycle inspections, right? So they could tell by the growth rate if we need to go in there more often. And they work good with the communities and inform them. Yeah,
I think maybe this may be a year we start that campaign a little earlier and, whatever didn't burn last year, we need to cut back this year. right?
Absolutely,
You know?
absolutely, we do.
Yeah.
And it is very sensitive, this, as you know.
Yeah, and it's also important to do it, in a thoughtful way. There's a lot of misinformation about
Correct.
vegetation management, and, dry brush is definitely very important to address, but sometimes other forms of vegetation can actually have some fire protective qualities, and so obviously we want to make sure we're fully in compliance, but then also not overdoing it, because sometimes removing, especially in areas where there's native chaparral, removing that vegetation can lead to more flammable invasives, et cetera. I know your team knows a lot of this, but it'll be important to make sure we're working with experts and coordinating on that.
And absolutely we do. We have certified arborists on our staff, so we do. Normally we'll send somebody out when we know there's a sensitive area.
Excellent, thank you.
But Joe, maybe through, the work that you all do through comms, which is, you guys do amazing work, but we can educate more some of the homeowner associations also about who's responsible for what, and NURIT's point about just because it's growing and you don't like how it looks may not be the right reason to cut it down if it serves, the kind of purpose NURIT was talking about before, so.
Sure, we can work on that.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
About wood poles. Only because it comes up a lot, and want to know how you answer the question to a community group that's wondering why do some areas get concrete or steel and others get wood.
So part of our wildfire hardening on our system is wind loading as well. And in most cases in those areas where there would be in Mandeville Canyon or any in those areas in the canyons, we will install steel poles, because that's the only type of material that could withstand the wind loading that we have to subject our facilities to. In some cases, poles, because especially in property lines and things like that, they are the most easily material to handle for the crews to install in that area, because it's confined.
You mean wood?
Yeah, you would, yes. And you can't get equipment in there. So those are easier to install. Right? And we do have some cases where we use fiberglass as well, depending on what it is. Although the fiberglass cannot endure the weight that we have to put on some of these. So we have to either go to wood or steel.
I understand that the black pine, which is prevalent in our forests, is actually not flammable.
Okay.
So there's a company in the Mission District that's been hired to take down like thousands of trees.
Okay.
And then they turn them into, use the wood for other things. So I think it's worthwhile looking into. Angel City Lumber.
Okay, we could certainly explore that for sure. So moving on, last but not least, preemptively, we pay attention. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you have a contact there.
Yes, I'll send you the contact.
Okay, thank you.
That'd be great.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
So prior to any heat event that's pending, we pay attention to the National Weather Service. Office of Emergency Management will send out notifications when there's any pending heat event coming our way. So we will hold a coordination call between all the operating divisions, corporate comms, customer service, fleet, water, and all the pertinent divisions, and make sure that we're synced up. And if there's any resources that we may need, we're ready to respond. We also make sure that crews are ready around the clock and on standby, and our contractors if needed as well. So we discuss that with Local 18 to make sure we're ready to respond to any heat event. So.
Great. No, I appreciate that. We may want to consider starting early this year just because we had 2 days of unbelievable heat last weekend that made no sense to anybody.
Right.
But it was here. So.
Yeah, no, definitely we're going to be prepared this time. So like I said, we're out getting everything in order and coordinating.
Sure
yes.
Appreciate that. But, and if there's things that you need that you don't have, that, let the commission know that. So.
Okay, we certainly will. Thank you for that. Now I'll pass it on to Marciano Navarre, my counterpart.
Good afternoon. I'll just jump right in. Power construction and maintenance, and we maintain our substations, like Soraya likes to say, within the walls. So here what we do is we prepare our transformers auxiliary cooling systems during these summer months so that, like Walter was talking about, and you guys were talking about temperature, they'll run the constant heat. So we leave our fans in auto. Thank you for that, Mona. We run our fans in auto so that they're on all the time as necessary. And also, like Walter said, we curtail our maintenance to non-critical maintenance work so that we have the equipment available. Here in PCM, we also run thermography inspections.
Curtail your maintenance to non-critical or to critical?
Non-critical maintenance work. If it's not
That's what you, okay.
If it's not critical, we curtail that so that we leave the
I want
equipment
to make
available.
sure I understood it right. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Thermography. So we do thermography inspections, infrared, so that we address all hot spots before the summer months. And again, during heat events, like Walter mentioned, we coordinate with the Office of Emergency Management, PTD, and we prepare so that we can prepare our 5x5, 5 areas, 5 crews, 24/7 during these heat events so that we can respond appropriately. Next, during the fall, we evaluate our transformers so that we can determine which ones need to be replaced or upgraded as necessary. And this brings us here to this slide here. Proud to say that this summer prep, we will be replacing or upgrading 8 transformers with an additional capacity of 17.5 MVA and an additional 7 feeders, which will help Walter's team increase reliability and additional flexibility for their system. And this proactive approach increases system reliability and ensures that we will continue to deliver reliable power to our customers. So next, I will pass it on to my water system partner.
Before you get off the hook for a second. Nice try, though, but no. Explain to the neophyte here. You say you have 2,025 feeders, but then it says underneath it total 7. Can you explain that?
In year 2025, so that's...
Okay, 2025.
25, so this year, we do this every fall. We
Right.
evaluate our transformers.
Right.
We pass them on to engineering based on our analysis to solve gas analysis. So we identified 8 transformers that needed to be replaced this year for this summer prep.
Out of how many?
Out of, in substations, I'm looking for Jason Hills here. We debate. I'm a substations guy, he's an engineering guy. So 900, we have 900 transformers within our substations, 123 substations. Now, ideally, we should replace 30 every year. 30 times 30 life expectancy gives us 900. But because we do condition-based maintenance based on an algorithm from EPRI, it's called PTX, we've identified, the first year we did this in 2019, 2017, about 28 transformers that we needed to replace, and we did so, and now we're down to 8. It was reduced every year. Now we only have 8, or had 8, that needed to be replaced. And we will continue to do this and replace and upgrade as needed.
So there's a difference in what we generate and transmit. When we say we have 8,000 megawatts of capacity in our system, and then our peak load is 6,500, there still is a difference between what we have on our transmission system and what we can actually send to the residents. So when we see that we're adding another 17.5 MVA to the system, we're chipping away at that delta between what we have available and what we can actually supply. So every feeder, 7 new feeders out of that system, is a godsend to us because it's easier to manage in a storm when circuits start to have failures. That gives us more reliability and resiliency. We can roll and parallel those circuits and have more capacity to send to the homes.
Got it. Thank you. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Breonna Lindsay, representing the water system. Unlike power system, most of our infrastructure is below ground. So, woohoo, water system. I feel for my brothers on the power side whenever there's a heat storm, really. So, thankfully, on the water system, most of our infrastructure is below ground. So the majority of our emphasis is on making sure that our employees are safe. We can do things on our side as management to make sure that we manage the work, that we make sure that our folks are not going out to work that's not routine. We want to make sure that if we're sending them out to work, we want to make sure that it's something that is of an emergency basis. So heat illness and employee exposure is a focus of our readiness program. We focus on scheduling work before daily peak heat hours. We also emphasis on recognition of heat illness symptoms. I can say probably within the past 5 or 6 years, we made sure that every employee understands some of the symptoms of heat illness, not just the supervisors and the managers. And so we do that through routine training as well. We reinforce hydration and rest policies, and we adjust workloads based off of temperature focuses. Once again, we focus on training, and we want to make sure that it's done on an annual basis. We work with our other groups, safety groups, whether it's water system safety and corporate safety, to make sure that we have updated training. Review the regulatory language and make sure that the heat illness preventive measures are followed. But we increase awareness of hazards of the heat stress and the signs and symptoms that are heat related. We discuss procedures in responding to heat related illnesses and provide the understanding of the importance of the supervisor's responsibility, the manager's responsibility, and making sure that every employee knows their responsibility and what to look for. We make sure that we have access to shade through easy ups, and also we want to make sure that we have vehicles that have access to AC. There has been many times where that has actually helped to assist to make sure to cool down some of our employees. There has been situations where we have employees that don't necessarily recognize when they are going through a heat stress situation. Sometimes they just think it's normal fatigue or things that they would normally do when they're in an event that would just cause them to sweat a little bit more. And thankfully, we've had access, like I said, to shade and AC where they were able to cool down, and we were recognizing it. Make sure that we have available water, very similar to our partners in the power system, and climatization. There are some groups that we have that are so used to working close to the beach that when they're in a situation like when they get 100-degree temperatures, they're not used to that particular way of working. So we got to make sure that they understand their rest periods, the amount of water that they intake, and make sure that they understand the symptoms of heat issues. And we ensure that compliance with CalOSHA regulations are in place. So this is a CalOSHA quick card, and it's available through CalOSHA, through their website. And in every vehicle that we have in the water system, we want to make sure that these cards are available, and they actually help you to recognize what heat illness is, what are the risk factors, symptoms of heat exhaustion, symptoms of heat stroke, ways to prevent heat illness, and how to protect our workers and employees. We also have these as stickers on our dashboards in our vehicles that make sure that to remind all of our employees of their responsibilities. And so there are other things that we do in the water system to make sure that our folks are taken care of. So water distribution operations, we also scale back the work to make sure that if it's non-emergency work, that we can reduce some of the work. We schedule it, like I said, in non-peak hours, non-heat peak hours. We want to make sure that we follow all of our red flag warnings, that if there is a red flag warning, that we don't use any kind of welding or any kind of materials, anything that can spark. And we also want to make sure that in our water operations group, that they are prepared prior to any kind of heat storm. And the way they prepare is making sure that if there is a generator or a pump system that needs to be topped off with gas, that they do that prior to any heat storm to make sure that we have continuity of service and make sure that those particular items don't run out in the event of a heat storm. And last but not least, continue to work with our LAFD partners to make sure that we get updated lists, and they've been great lately, and make sure that we repair any kind of fire hydrants for heat protection. And that's it that we have for the water system. Any questions?
Questions?
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And in the interest of time, I'm just going to highlight each of these slides, and then the detail is there for your reference, should you want to look at any more detail. Some of the most important things that we do in terms of communications is ensuring that we have that pre-messaging out to the community so they understand that there is a heat wave coming if they hadn't heard about it anywhere else, but also some of the things not only that we as the utilities are doing to prepare, but also the programs that we offer so that they're aware of those in advance. We do those in a variety of modalities, but really ensuring that we have a diversified social media presence. We do it through news releases, through earned media, to make sure that we're really reaching all of our target audiences. Some of the most important things that we do are making sure that we have that information via our government affairs offices to all of our elected officials and all of our leadership, so that they can also then magnify that message to their constituents and to anybody that they come in contact with. Something that is new for us that we're working on is looking at the enhanced services in our cooling centers. So we've had cooling centers in the past, but this year we're really looking at making those cooling centers more of resilient centers. So offering things like hydration stations and charging for mobile devices and cooling packs, so that not only it is a place where you can go and you can be in a cool environment, but ensure that also you're receiving some of those wraparound services. In addition to that, we've launched the air conditioning program. We are doing a relaunch this year to make sure that everybody is aware of all of the different aspects of that program and can access it when needed. But some of the really highlighted accomplishments that we have are looking at the numbers of units that we've issued. So over 10,000 cooling units have been distributed. We've had $1.8 million in rebates. So really going through and making sure that those programs that we have are not only available, but that all of our customers are aware of them and know how to access those services.
Which is a really important part of this whole thing.
Absolutely, right? Why have a program if nobody knows about it?
Yeah, exactly, or how to access it, or, yeah.
And are the Cool LA and the senior distributions continuing this summer?
They are, yes. And Joe, if you want to add more to that, but yes.
Yes, we actually...
Or increased over last time. Or
Yeah, because we were able to renew the efficient product marketplace that this board supported, we were able to do that digitally. So both promoting it directly to customers, to nonprofits, and hosting events together with council offices at our customer service Saturdays. Rather than having to distribute the ACs on site, we can literally sign someone up, qualify them, and have it delivered to their home.
Oh,
they can do
great.
so as well. So we're taking it digital.
Excellent.
It'll help a lot.
That's probably a lot easier for folks, so
Definitely.
good to hear.
And then one of the things we're really proud of is that partnership that we have with the mayor's office and with HECLA, and we've been able to really ensure that we have equity with all of our vulnerable customers. And we've increased from last year 400 units to about 2,000 units this year. So really having some good effect with that program. In terms of corporate health and safety, I won't go over this again. You heard both on the power and on the water side that our employee safety is paramount to us. So ensuring that everybody has that training for heat illness. And so not only on the power and the water side, but also on the joint side, ensuring that all of our employees, and then also messaging that information out to our customers is important.
That's great. Now, when I chaired the MetroLink board, we had a CEO who kept saying, just believe, safety is foundational.
Absolutely.
And in a surprise move, actually, one of his first things he did when he came on board was he did away with all the safety committees. And everybody said, well, how could you do that? And he had the belief that if there's a safety committee, everybody assumes safety is the job of the committee and not everybody in the organization.
Oh, interesting.
And so it was a way to underscore safety is 24/7, 365, and everybody's got to be involved in it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. With that, the panel will be happy to take any additional questions.
I think, speaking for the commission, certainly, if there are things you need or shortcomings you see when it comes to safety, please let us know. We will be happy to work with you to make it happen.
Thank you.
And whatever we can do we have good safety records here, and everything I've seen, particularly compared to other utilities, we do very, very well, but we want to keep it that way.
We do.
So whatever we can do, please let us know.
We will. Thank you.
And Zerai, we're really happy to have you here. I think, the timing of having you here before the wildfires and seeing the improvement in our emergency management stance throughout that process, and some of the common sense
wow, really sometimes very progressive changes you've made in the department very quickly are really welcome. To, see this approach to heat right before we're about to hit some of these big waves is really reassuring. So welcome and thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely echo that, and for bringing on Mona as well. And it seems like really great teamwork happening. I like to see the collaboration across power and water always. And yeah, let's hope all of this preparation leads to a better summer for all of us.
Yes, agreed.
Dave, were you about to say something?
Well, I was, but I talked myself out of it. I was just going to say the
Don't
same.
let me interrupt.
I was going to say the same thing about Zariah. I think we were all where we needed to be, at the right time for that horrible event that befell the Palisades area. I think her coming to us at the time with her background in emergency management, we were able to kind of do some dry runs through some smaller events. And I'll never forget the morning looking out the window, planning on standing up the Emergency Operations Center when we saw the smoke on the hills of the Palisades. So I've learned a lot from her, and I'm really thankful that she's here.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zariah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Appreciate it. All right.
One more.
You got it. Anything from neighborhood reps?
I'm sorry, we have one more presentation from SWE.
Sorry.
Love the coordination for the presentation.
Who's the leader of the band?
Good afternoon, Commissioners and Executive Management. My name is Anna Avalar, and I am a Civil Engineering Associate in the Water Engineering and Technical Services Division, and I am the current president of the LEDWP Society of Women Engineers Professional Chapter. And presenting with me today are Fabiola Perez and Megan Hahn, both Vice Presidents from the Water and Power, respectively.
Great. Welcome.
It is with pleasure that we are here to present our 5th annual update.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Thank you. In our presentation today, we'll go over important topics such as our beginnings and our mission. We'll introduce the current board of directors. We'll go over our objectives, past event highlights, our mentorship program, an update on our SWE National Conference in 2024, which was in Chicago, Illinois. We'll cover our next conference in 2025, and we'll end with future plans and goals. We were established in March of 2018, and our biggest gratitude goes out to the 5 founding members who took an initiative to start SWE from the bottom up. In just 7 years, we're now 276 members strong, and we're still accepting applications if anyone's interested in joining. Our membership currently consists of 75% female, 25% male, 17% non-STEM engineers, non-STEM, and 83% STEM employees. Our mission is to stimulate employees to achieve their full potential in their careers by providing a supportive networking opportunities, mentoring, and fostering a culture that recognizes and respects the contributions of all. Now, I would like to take a moment to introduce our board, and if you're here present in the audience, please stand up and be recognized. It's been an absolute pleasure and privilege to work with such dedicated, passionate, and committed group of leaders who dedicate many hours of their personal time and their lunch to help deliver and achieve the goals that we set out for our members. Some of our board members have demanding jobs here at LEDWP and have responsibilities such as home with their families as well. Yet they take the time to be part of this organization and make a difference in their community. I'm grateful for all that you do, and not just for LEDWP, but for your community overall. I would also like to thank our executive advisors, Heidi Hiroka, our chief of staff, and Adriana Perez, manager of transmission engineering, who stepped up to provide our group with their leadership expertise. I would also like to recognize our former advisor for the past 4 years, Nermina Rusick-O'Neill, who recently transitioned into a new position as Director of Power System Planning Division. Our advisors give us much of their free time as well to help guide and support us in the best way they can. We're so grateful for your continued dedication and commitment to our mission and objectives, and we're grateful to have you on board. Now I will pass it on to Megan.
Okay, hello Commissioners. My name is Megan Hahn, and I am the Vice President of Power for SWE here at the department, and I am also a Civil Engineering Associate at the Utility Scale Renewables Group within the Power System Planning Division. So at SWE, our core objectives are to transform, support, and recruit. Okay. So first, we strive to transform the next generation by sparking an early interest in STEM. One of our key partnerships is with the Girls Academic Leadership Academy, which is the first all-girls public STEM school within both LAUSD and the state of California. This past year, we proudly continued hosting field trips and outreach events for Gala students, helping inspire future generations of engineers. Second, we continue to recruit through a strong collaboration with HR. SWE actively provides volunteers for national and regional conferences, as well as for campus events at local universities, helping to grow a pipeline of diverse talent. And lastly, but perhaps most importantly, we strive to support our members. We offer professional development opportunities, mentoring programs, and resources to help women engineers grow and advance in their careers. So throughout this year, we had the opportunity to organize a variety of impactful events across 4 main areas: education, social and networking, professional development, and recruitment and outreach. So starting with our educational initiatives, we participated in several Evening with Industry events hosted at campuses including Cal Poly SLO, UCLA, Cal Poly Pomona, and UC Riverside. These events provided a great platform for students and professionals to connect, share experiences, and build meaningful industry relationships. On the social and networking front, we hosted a member appreciation lunch at Kendall's, where we reflected on SWE's major accomplishments, heard from inspiring keynote speakers, and most importantly, expressed our gratitude to our dedicated members and supportive management. Another memorable event was our Meals for the Homeless initiative, where we partnered with Refeed Los Angeles to pack and distribute 150 meals for those in need at Skid Row. In terms of professional development, many of our members attended the 2024 National SWE Conference in Chicago this past October, and Fabi will be sharing more of that later on in this presentation. And lastly, for our recruitment and outreach efforts, we organized a couple of field trips for students from Gala as we visited one of LADWP's power plants and the LA Aqueduct filtration plant to give students a behind-the-scenes look at our operations and inspire future careers in engineering. So this year we plan on launching our mentoring program for the 2025 calendar year. Due to the unforeseen impacts of the fires earlier this year and with employees supporting response efforts, we've adjusted the program to a 6-month duration in lieu of our typical 1-year duration for this year, 2025. So the goal of this program is to help mentees grow into LADWP's next generation of leaders with guidance from experienced mentors. The program aims to support both professional and personal development, build strong network of mentorship, and provide valuable insight into career, growth, leadership, and work-life balance. So over the course of this program, mentors and mentees will participate in monthly one-on-one meetings tailored to each mentee's development goals. And in addition, we'll also have structured development sessions, including interview prep, resume reviews, and other career-focused workshops. And with that, I'll hand it over to Fabi.
Thank you, Megan. Good afternoon, Board of Commissioners. My name is Fabi Perez. I am a Civil Engineering Associate in the Water Engineering and Technical Services Division with the Project Management Office and serving as Vice President of SWE. I will now resume with the slides. The Society of Women Engineers National Conference is one of the largest annual engineering events that draws on average 18 to 20,000 future and current engineers, mostly female, from all over the world. Attendees range from students in community college to professionals seeking to find work and/or to further their personal development. This past year, the SWE conference was held in Chicago, Illinois at the McCormick Place. In terms of recruitment, in total, we had 275 visitors during the career fair, 36 applicants, and 26 interviews. We also encouraged department employees to submit session abstracts to be speakers at the conference. Sessions at the conference can be on various topics, such as work-life balance, career advancement, and technical and non-technical skills. The selection process is very competitive. SWE National receives more than 1,000 abstract submissions each year. Department employees submitted a total of 7 topics. Of these, 5 were selected to present. In terms of attendance, with DEI's support, we were able to sponsor attendance for 12 department employees. In total, over 30 employees attended. Employees were able to attend personal and professional development sessions and supported recruitment efforts at the career booth. Lastly, we set out to be known as an employer of choice. 2 years ago, we became a corporate sponsor. This sponsorship allows us to place our logo on the water bottles given to every single conference attendee. We also sponsored the closing keynote speaker, where the Director of Strategic Initiatives, Evelyn Cortez Davis, was able to say a few remarks prior to playing a short video that highlighted LEDWP's talented employees and innovative projects. The next SWE National Conference will be held in New Orleans, Louisiana. The theme is Embrace Your Story. LEDWP will participate and recruit at this year's conference to promote LEDWP as an employer of choice, a company with great benefits, work-life balance, and innovative projects that brings clean energy and sustainable water to the city of Los Angeles. Some of our members have submitted abstracts and are awaiting acceptance to lead some of the speaker sessions and panel discussions. After the department's successful conference presence for the past 2 years, we want to maintain a focus of brand recognition to continue attracting the new generation of engineers. We are grateful and look forward to the continued support for this year's conference. For the future, we plan on partaking in new and exciting events. We want to focus on supporting our women engineers, transform and develop personal growth, and professional relationships and recruitment for the department. Similar to previous years, we will continue with our gala partnership and expand on other outreach efforts as well. I will now hand it back to Anna. Thank you.
On behalf of the LEDWP SWE board, its members, we'd like to thank you, Honorable Board, for your support throughout these years. DWP Executive Management and all of DWP division leaders for recognizing us, for joining us, and for supporting your employees as we create opportunities for individual and professional development. We look forward to being a supportive presence, not only for our members, but for all of LEDWP employees overall. Thank you, commissioners, but before we leave, we would like to give you a small token of appreciation for your support throughout the years, which will drop by just a second. Sarah?
Yes, please. Thank you.
And with that, if there are any questions, we're more than happy to answer.
Thank you. No questions, but just want to reiterate my comments from earlier about the Women's Expo. It was great to see folks there and, SWE and all the other organizations. And just to congratulate you, this is a lot of amazing work that I know is having a big impact for a lot of LADWP employees. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would also, you realize, I'm sure you do, for some of you who have the next generation in the family who watch what you're doing or potentially have indirect or direct contact or participate in the conference and observe, that it's really important to see you being the role models. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Just echo what both NURIT and Mia just said. Thank you for being willing to be leaders and for standing up and for growing your numbers and making LADWP an even better organization for all your involvement. And look forward to continuing to work with you to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Management reports. I think now I'm done, NURIT, with management reports.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Any comments by commissioners? How about minutes from the April 22nd meeting? Yes. Motion second on the minutes from April 22nd.
Second.
Motion. Motion second.
Okay.
objections.
Without objection, all members present as I votes. Minutes are approved. Future motions,
None at this time.
neighborhood council.
One community impact statement was received by Northwest Neighborhood Council. No representatives are present to speak on the matter.
Thank you. So we're on item
Takes us to closed.
N1. We did the ends.
I think we did the ends, so that takes us to closed session.
Okay. John, we got your item taken care of, right? Okay. All right.
The board shall now recess into closed session for a conference with legal counsel regarding 4 items. All the conferences will be held pursuant to an existing litigation exception in the Brown Act, which is codified at Government Code Section 54956.9D1. The first matter is the lead case of the wildfire cases entitled Grigsby versus City of Los Angeles Superior Court Case Number 25 STCV 00832. The second matter is a settlement agreement with the California Air Resources Board relating to alleged violations of sulfur hexafluoride emissions reporting requirements. That case ID number is S, like in Sam, F6 2023-002. The next case is Nancy Castilla Avila versus John Avila versus LADWP, Los Angeles Superior Court Case Number 22 STCV 34864. And the last matter is Eric Schoentag versus LADWP, Los Angeles Superior Court Case Number 22 STCV 05590. The board shall publicly report any action taken in closed session and the vote or abstention of every member present thereon in accordance with Section 54957.1 of the California Government Code.
All right. We will recess to the conference room in the back for a closed session and report out any action taken. But thank you all for being here, and interesting meeting.
geração que teve o privilégio de conviver com Tom Jobim no Brasil e no mundo. a geração que teve o privilégio de conviver com tão jovens no Brasil e no mundo.
Yeah.
We're reconvening the regular board, the special Board of Water and Power Commissioners meeting on Tuesday, May 13th. The time is 4:11 p.m. General Counsel?
This will be the report out from the closed session held with the Board of Water and Power Commissioners. In the Grigsby versus City of Los Angeles matter, discussions were held, but no final action was taken that would require reporting. On matter number 2, the settlement agreement with the California Air Resources Board, the DWP Board consented to the adoption of a settlement agreement in the amount of $137,900 without admitting fault or liability, where $36,876 of the settlement will be used to fund a supplemental environmental project. The votes were as follows. Moved by Commissioner McGraw, seconded by Commissioner NURIT, and the vote was unanimous. The motion carried. On the matter of Nancy Castillo Avila and Jose Avila versus LADWP, the board consented to the adoption of a personal injury settlement for $325,000 with the following votes. Moved by Commissioner McGraw, seconded by Commissioner NURIT. The settlement approval was unanimous and carried. On the fourth matter, Eric Schoentag versus LADWP, the board consented to the adoption of a settlement in the amount of $225,000 with the following votes. Moved by Commissioner McGraw, seconded by Commissioner NURIT. The vote was unanimous and the motion carried.
With unanimous consent of the Board of Water and Power Commissioners, the meeting is deemed adjourned at 4:13 p.m.